Welcome to another episode of the PLA podcast. We have no other than Anshdeep on the podcast today. Ansh, welcome. It's so lovely to have you on here.
Hey, Dunya, thank you so much.
It's an absolute treat. And because our audience don't all know you in depth, I'd love to formally introduce you as our guest today. So I would love to introduce Anshdeep Srivastava, technology leader with 10 plus years of experience, passionate about guiding teams and helping people grow in their careers. Career journey spans multiple roles as developer, QA, BA, and program management, giving him a well rounded view of how products are built and delivered. His leap into program management, encouraged by a mentor, ignited his passion for leadership and mentoring. Has since advanced into product and infrastructure management roles, including leadership at Albertsons, where he focuses on building impactful products and empowering high performance teams. Strong believer in continuous learning inspired by atomic habits and applying its lessons both professionally and personally. Beyond work, an avid hiker, a lifelong learner, a husband, and of course, nonetheless, a father. And it's so lovely to have you on here today with us.
Hey, thank you, Dunya. Yeah,
It's been an absolute treat to, get to know you more personally from the PLA journey and everything that we've gone to connect over in the last few months. I'd love to know where it all started. If you could take us back to the very, very beginning of your career.
so my career started in 2010, and from there, it's an unstoppable journey of learning for me, and also the teaching. The people I know, and I know if they need something for me, which I can share, I share everything because it's you cannot hold your education or what you learned so far. Okay, the more you give, the more you get. My attitude towards the life, it's always a giving attitude. Okay, and what I learned in the technology area, which means that until you spend time on the things what you don't know, you will never know,
Mm.
which means that you have to try things for continuously hours and hours and hours. Keep repeating things, keep repeating things. Always remember, repetition is the key. You will get it. Only thing, you don't have to dishearten it, and don't stop yourself. You have to push yourself, whether it is work or personal life. You have to push yourself for every area and be grateful what you have.
Mm.
First thing first, be grateful what you have, and then keep pushing yourself.
It's so beautiful. And there's so much that you share in this piece, like that gratitude, constantly persevering, those. And at the very beginning of your share, what I loved is not only were you a lifelong learner, but great learners are also great teachers, and great teachers are great learners. So being able to not only adopt these new insights throughout the different parts and facets of your career, it was okay, well, who needs this information and how can I allow myself to keep sharing it to those that truly need it?
I let me start to give a small story, okay, about my cousin. He was in early career. I wish I had some mentors like me on my early stage of my life in my engineering. So I started coaching him. I was here in United States, and he was in back in my country, and he's pursuing his computer science engineering. And I keep feeding him the information that you need to push yourself, what you need to learn. And we had a casual discussion. Okay, at the end of his fourth year, he got first big breakthrough, which normally people get in 5 year or 6 year.
Mm.
So what I'm trying to say, that you need to start coaching people. You need to understand that somewhere someone needs you to be a guiding star.
So good.
Okay. And this is I love as a person to coach people to tell where technology is going, where you are going. I
Yeah.
You have to see the exact truth of your life. Okay. If you don't act fast, you always slipping time.
Mhm.
Okay. Money you will get. Money is no matter. Okay. It's something, the time. If you miss that particular time, you keep dealing everything in your life.
I love this. And I love that piece. Like it makes me think of that quote, the secret to living is giving. There's so many opportunities to, that we're handed, that to be able to give back and to give forward in so many ways.
Don't hold anything. Just open your heart and start teaching. You will never, you don't have to lose anything. Instead, you will gain every time you teach, because that is the repetition you are doing for yourself.
Yeah.
You
And
understand?
yeah, I love there's two quotes that come up of things that you've shared. There's someone out there that needs the exact information that you have. And by holding that back, we're actually holding that back from the world. And
Yes.
there's something so valuable of that. And this is an invitation, and I do this sometimes on the podcast, invite everyone that's listening today, in this moment, whenever you're watching this recording, to ask yourself, what piece of information may I have that the world might need from me at the moment, even if that's just a single person? And how can I put that out there for that person to be able to find it?
Very true. Very true.
And I'm curious, you've shared already some really big insights. I'm curious to know if you were to go back in time and give yourself one piece of advice that you needed more than anybody else at the beginning of your career, what would that be?
If I go back in 2004, where I started my engineering journey, I would have, or someone taught myself, this is your focus, or give me some career advice. That time I was all alone, because I was the only one from my family
Mhm.
doing the engineering, and I have nobody to tell me what is the pros and what cons, what is the real life, but that you are going to learn in college, okay, and what is going to be applied outside the world. That's what I told my cousin, the
Mhm.
difference between learning and what you're going to apply to the world.
Mhm.
And that makes the big, big gap. I filled the gap for him, and
Yeah.
that's where he got uh, tenfold of the salary. What a fresher cannot expect that.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what I go back and give myself a time. I was curious, I was partying, I was running around, and that time if someone told me that you do party, the harder you do party, the harder you learn.
Mm.
That's what someone did not tell me.
Yeah.
Okay, and if I was there, I would have done it. And you
Mm.
know that's delayed things for me. Okay, that's a, remember I told you, if you don't have focus and time, it will delay. I was
Mm.
running behind things which what I don't have, but I was not grateful what I had.
Mm.
Right, and everything, it's a chain of reaction. It keeps delaying things for me until I got to know, and I fixed that. But I cannot go back fix to what happened in 2004, right? So I will give myself a time to think what I want to do. If I had this mentorship, or someone told me, or someone my mentor, I would have done it differently.
There's some great insights that you share from this. One is actually one that you didn't share verbally, but if anyone were to read between the lines of your share, they would understand. You actually become the person you needed most. And so this is in some ways what started to happen to you is you had to become the person that you wish you had at the very beginning of your career. And in some ways we're blessed and given by life the opportunity to do so for your cousin, which is such a gift and a true way of giving back in a way that you didn't receive at first and had to create for yourself. And you're right, where focus goes, energy flows. Anything that we focus on, we spend time, energy, and effort will expand. And so many of us make the mistake
Yes.
of focusing on these different areas that don't actually serve the vision and what we need in the end. And sometimes we have to learn the hard way.
Yep. A very hard way.
Speaking of hard ways, I'm curious. My second question that I love asking on this podcast is, what were the biggest challenges and lessons of your career, and how did you grow from them? I'd love to know, just because so many times, often, so many of us read biographies for the simple reason is that it'll actually speed up our experience and time versus having to make those mistakes ourselves. So I'd love to know, what were the greatest challenges, lessons, learnings, mistakes you may have done in your career? How did you learn and grow from them yourself?
You know, there is always learning, and those comes with hard ways. Okay.
Mm, yeah.
When you uh, bang your head against the wall, you will get to know it hurts.
Mm,
Okay. So this time comes in 2014. Okay. I was doing a production support job. Okay. And I was on my comfort zone. I was crushing it. But that is my view. I was crushing it. I
mm,
do not have a value up, up, out of my comfort zone. Okay. It was zero. And that hit hard to me. Okay. Because when I review myself, did a self reflection on myself. I'm a production support engineer. Okay, in a closed loop area, I do not have a value outside this circle. There is, I cannot do anything except production support. That's where I gave myself a challenge in 2013 and 2014. It was end of 13 and starting 14. Okay, then I become a developer. Moving away from production support and developer, it's a big leap.
mm,
Okay, it's a huge leap because in production support you do predefined task and you know where the system is failing, where the issues. Okay, but moving to development, it's a complete different ball game
mm,
for me. Maybe different
yeah.
people have different perspective, but this is my perspective. And I had 2 weeks to prepare for that interview,
Mm,
being a developer. Okay, that time I did not know what is 9 a.m., 9 p.m., 2 a.m., 5 a.m., which means I never looked at the clock. I learned round the clock
mm,
for those 2 weeks, and I crushed that interview.
mm,
I got that job, and also I crushed that. I outperformed everybody in that. My the company would hire me, okay, and they offered me a full time as well in 6 months, 6 to 7 months. That's what I'm trying to say, that I got off my out of comfort zone.
mm,
It's very hard, and you need to give time. You have to spend time. You have to repeat things multiple, many times until either they fail or you fail.
mm. There's a few really good insights from that story. One is at the very, very beginning of your share, where you end up sharing with us this piece around, you know, I was in my comfort zone. And in some ways, I think it was at that moment, I thought it was serving me, but it actually wasn't. And there were so many other opportunities just out of my reach that I wasn't aware of because I was so focused on that space where I thought I was in my absolute zone of genius. But when I was given this opportunity to then reach further and to really grow as a person, I didn't take this invitation lightly and I played full out. That means that it was requiring me to put in the effort that I hadn't put in so long through this experience to really get a result that I was actually looking for. That wasn't within the same comfort zone that I used to know.
Yes.
So the invitation is, if you want more, you're going to have to reach far out of what feels good and what feels comfortable and put in work that the average person will never understand in their lifetime. Yet the rewards that come after that are great and far more interesting.
So I would say never focus on the reward, what you're going to get. Just don't build. There is nothing. It's a pure hard work. Okay, it's a pure hard work. You will get disheartened. You will get annoyed. You will feel like not. You'll feel like quitting. Only thing that keep it going. Keep it going. That is something you can do. What is in your hand? What is not your hand? Just do not worry about that. Yes, these are multiple things in the world that is not nothing in your control. Only thing that it will mess up your head, mess up your life, and you will be miserable. Okay. So can you ask the question again, Dunya? This previous
Absolutely.
one.
What were the biggest lessons and challenges, and how did you learn and grow from them?
So biggest challenges, biggest learning for me is something that you have to understand what is your goal, what is your dream, what you want to become as a person.
Yeah.
Okay, as a person, you have to be grateful for what you have and s- teach everything what you know. And this is this is where I made a difference for on myself that I continuously give myself through a challenge. Okay, so if you look at my previous decade, I was wearing multiple hats. A production support, the easiest one, but that time I was scratching it. And developer, I went to QA and a business analyst. I have wore multiple hats.
Mm.
Reason being, I keep myself throw under the bus. Okay, throw myself a challenge.
Mm.
What will happen? Think about it. What will happen? You will fail. You will not suitable for a job, but you will get to know. But are you able to take challenges in
Mm.
your professional life, right? So I work hard on each roles. Okay, I give my best on each roles. So and now that shaped me as a leader.
Mm.
Okay, now if I have a conversation with my boss, my director, my VP and above, okay, I can talk with all my experience on my all the things what I different hats, right? And if I want to talk to my team, I know what I'm talking to them, right? So this is where I feel myself that it is always continuous learning for yourself, your perspective towards a problem, and this is the challenge I keep going, and I keep changing, updating my goals every year, what I want to become.
And Ange, you bring up, I love this piece of throwing yourself under the bus. I think there's something that if those want to grow in areas that they've never experienced before, they don't have a level of expertise like many others in the industry in this particular role have. You're right, there's such a piece of, there's a very humbling process of saying, I'm going to go and play full out and get my head in the game, even though I don't have, years of experience or a level of expertise that compares itself to a lot of the high performers in those roles. And it's very important to put our ego aside and just say, you know what, I'm going to be a rookie at this. I'm going to be,
Be a student.
yeah, absolutely. Be a student, be open to learning even through
Yes,
failures and being imperfect.
yes. And failure makes you what you are.
Oh, amazing. And I'd be curious, Ange, there's a lot of change happening in the industry right now with the buzzword of AI. And so many people have different perspectives on it. I'd love to get your take. How have you been using it? What do you think about it? And where do you think it's taking us?
My take on AI, you open any news thing, new or any article that everywhere it's AI, AI, AI. Yeah, it is. There is. There is always a change. There's always change in technology. There are always change, and it disrupt things. What you going to do it for yourself? Okay, somewhere that particular AI train is going, and if you don't step on it, you will be leave behind on a platform, and then later people will call it legacy. Okay, what I'm trying to arrive that you have to polish yourself
Mm,
to learn, to grow with that.
mm,
There, there will be, if you see in current trend, just for example, if people are doing vibe coding, people are companies are moving away from the production support support kind of role. Okay, and people are using the vibe coding into their own code on production level code, but that still not evolved yet. That can replace the human intelligence. Okay, the reason being, if you feed the information to AI, which is already there in the market, and that information is still wrong, you are you're making your code for a disaster. Okay, there are always human intention involved. So you need to figure out a way how you can make that particular AI work for you the way you want it, not the way it is designed.
so good.
Okay, the way you want it, not the way it is designed. It is designed to make a huge code base, but you are not going to use that huge code base. You have to use the piece of that information into your code base. So
Mm,
people makes mistake here. They go and they just type, do a prompting and make a whole lot of page. Okay, you need to understand that how AI is creating the security vulnerabilities,
mm,
how AI is writing the code. You have to give structured input. The way you code it, you make that for that particular AI to understand the way you work, the way industry work. Okay, and that you see lots of issues happening in a different organization. Somebody deleted the code, somebody changes the code, somebody created the security vulnerabilities, and that's where the safeguard comes. Where what you're going to put into that place. Okay, I did myself a vibe coding. Okay, I'm not opposing that. I did 15 hours, 10 hours. I didn't understand what the heck is doing.
wow.
10 hours keep repeating, but at the 11th hour I understand that
Mm,
particular way, and I implemented that, and the product came out earlier. First cycle, it took around huge code base, put all kind of junk in my code. Okay, but after 11th hour it was clean code. Okay,
wow.
so that is the difference. People should understand how you want to make AI to code, not AI is coding. Okay, so there is a little bit of difference that you have to put safeguard towards all of
I think there's something that you shared in this is that's really important for the audience to keep in mind is you being in control and you allowing yourself to get very very clear on where you'd like to use this AI to support you and in what way. So the intention behind what is my intention behind its use is got to be very clear rather than in some ways delegating that power, that sovereignty, that decision making to this tool.
it. Yes, that's right.
Oh.
I mean,
And
you cannot get away with that. There are always a vibe coding. There are always the things that AI agent everywhere. You're seeing a new AI agent everywhere. You you understand the flow. You understand how they work. Okay, and you understand how they take the instruction input. There are things which you understand on a GitHub that you can implement. Okay, in your particular tool, whichever the agent you are using, but you have to understand how they are going to be used on the particular agent. Okay, to safeguard your identity.
absolutely. Incredible. I'm curious, having gotten to know you over the last few months and everything that's coming, what excites you about the future? And like, what are you looking forward to in terms of legacy and impact?
So, I mean, future is something there. You want a right answer or wrong answer or
I want all the
truth?
answers and to give our audience all the answers.
I mean, future is you have to understand that uh, the jobs will be replaced multiple times. Okay, multiple times. The way I say that, um, a developer become an AI developer,
Mm,
a QA become QA AI QA, a product manager become AI product manager. Okay, so the word AI in front speaks that they understand the behavior, the way how AI works.
mm,
Okay, that's going to be changed in coming years, and that is, I think, I would say, uh, 3 to 5 years, everything will be disrupted.
mm.
Okay, but what is not going to change? Okay, what is not going to change? The approach you take towards that.
Interesting.
That will not never change. Okay, you and you should not fear for
Mm,
that. That's the next challenge for you. You should never fear this next challenge, and you should ready to embrace. You have to ready to adapt that fast changing things. You should go into deep. Okay, how those models comes up, how
mm,
those uh, AI agent, how those LLMs work, and that's where you make a difference in entirely. If you don't, okay, then there will be always loss for you. You have to embrace, and the things are changing pretty quickly. It's hard to catch up, yes, but instead of saying it's hard to catch up, take one thing, spend time there. You will be ahead of many people.
I think there's something that you bring up that's important. That piece of change is inevitable. And part of it is asking ourselves, how are we responding to this change that's coming and the change that's already here? And we can actually make the best and the most out of this change if we allow ourselves to, respond to it proactively.
Yes, you have to be ready for that. I mean, change is change. Okay, either in your personal life, in your professional life, change is change. How you respond to it, that's all it matters.
Absolutely. And I wanted to, we were connecting on the PLA podcast and we have our beautiful logo in the top right corner and just wanted to take a moment and just, ask you what originally drew you to PLA and what has been your experience in PLA? What have you gotten out of it in that experience?
So I love meeting people. Okay, there's view, there's perspective. Okay,
Mm,
and the mentorship what Wamshi, Brandon provide. Okay, so I love to hear always Wamshi. Okay, and his perspective towards the problem, any kind of. It's very generous. It's very calm, and no panic attitude. Okay,
mm,
that's where I wanted to become. Sometimes I get panic, and the insight, the teaching. Okay, so BLA is the place where you get everything in terms of learning, in terms of career growth, in terms of coaching, in terms of mentorship, in terms of understanding the human behavior, in terms of the technology, how it is rapidly changing, and in terms of the communication, how you talk to the people, how you respond yourself, how you groom yourself, be a leader. Purely, it's all, lots of things in
mm,
between. Okay, so I would say that getting up early and having a first coffee with my PLA team members, it's always a fun, and I'm blessed with that. I can tell you. A lot of industry leaders are there. A lot of
mm.
different view. You will never get it everywhere. Okay, that's view I can tell. It's a key insight, key industry. And not only those, you have a session on your personal growth. Okay, the leader help you, talk to you in personally. What is the happening in your life? What is happening, and they can coach you. Okay, Venkat was talking to my wife, and Venkat explained how she can overcome the challenge what she's facing. She's not part of it. Venkat says no business with it, but still, as a family, we take care of each other in PLA.
Absolutely. And you're right. There's so much more than what PLA has on paper that it actually ends up offering to each and every one of us. And all the different facets of our life end up changing as a result of PLA in so many ways. It's been an absolute pleasure.
And it's super nice to always talking
Oh,
to Venkat, Vamshi, and Brandon.
and it's been an absolute pleasure having you on the PLA podcast today. I wanted to put up on the screen for anyone that's curious about PLA and wants to
Hmm.
know when the next free training is and would like just a little bit more information. They're more than welcome to scan the QR code and find out when the next free training is going to be and what is PLA all about. There's so much value that the leadership team provides during those few days of training, and it's been an absolute pleasure to see them offer so much to the community for free through this training. So if anyone's curious, feel free to scan the QR code and get to connect with PLA as a whole. And it's
Yes.
been an absolute pleasure having you on the podcast today. I wanted to thank you for your time and your experience and expertise and perspective, truly.
Thank you, Dania. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you.
It's been an absolute pleasure. And we'll catch everyone else on the next PLA podcast. Have a beautiful day.
Thank you.